I will start the TestNG. So next today's session and next one session will be completely within the TestNG, where you can get to know what are the different feature of TestNG framework is having, right, and how you can use the different annotation of TestNG. What are the different kind of benefits available? So I'll cover the different topic from TestNG, like what is TestNG overview and what is TestNG all about, and how you can install TestNG step by step, right? Installation guide, then different TestNG annotation, how you can enable or disable a particular test cases or test from the execution, what is test case priority, and how you can perform sequential execution with the help of priority, what is assertion, and what is hard and soft assertion in TestNG, right? What is the importance of depends on method, always run, right? And invocation count, invocation timeout, and skip fail invocation attribute, and how we can run multiple test suite in the TestNG. So as of now, you already seen, right? You can create a class without TestNG, right? In the normal Selenium or Java, in a single package, multiple class can be created, but only one class can be run, right, at a single time. But here we will see how we can run multiple class at the same time with the help of TestNG. So what is TestNG? So as of now, we already seen the different standalone feature of Selenium WebDriver. We did not implement it any simple framework as well. But TestNG is a kind of framework, right? So initially, JUnit framework came into the market, which is used by the development team, especially for the unit testing. But TestNG framework came later. It is having most of the JUnit features, but it is having some additional features as well, right? It is primarily used by the testing team for the functional testing, regression testing, and other testing. So TestNG, where NG stand for next generation, is a JUnit inspired open source automation testing framework which provides several features like data-driven testing, parameterization support, different utility, annotations, and test case grouping that aid in creating robust and powerful testing projects. TestNG is designed to cover all categories of tests, unit testing, functional testing, end-to-end integration, etc. So another drawback you already seen, right? So you are executing the test cases from your class level, right? But here, no proper report was getting generated. Only you can see that test case is fair, and any case of failure, right? You are able to see the reason, or in case test case is getting fast, you are able to see any kind of output, or you are just able to see the navigation. But you are not able to generate any kind of report where you can portray, right, that this is the report has been generated, and from the report itself you can get to know how many test cases passed, failed, how many classes has been executed, right? That is the part. But using TestNG, user can generate a proper report, right? User can easily identify how many test cases passed, failed, and skip. In case user need to execute the failed test case separately, it is possible to execute. That is the another advantage. So why TestNG is useful in Selenium? The TestNG testing framework can be easily integrated with tools like Maven, Jenkins, etc. Right? Because sometimes in the real time we need to integrate with the map, and in real time also you're creating the Maven project, right? Where you don't need to add all the dependency manually. Instead of that, whenever you are creating a Maven project, right, you need to just add all the dependencies in the form.xml file. So automatically what will happen? Automatically all the relevant jar file will be added to your project. So generate the report in a proper format, including number of test cases run, number of test cases passed, failed, skipped, everything can be possible with the help of TestNG and Selenium. Multiple test cases can be grouped more easily by converting them into TestNG.xml file, in which user can make priority which test case should be executed first. So whenever we are talking about the TestNG, right? So there is a feature called TestNG.xml file where you can group it, right? We can do the parallel execution, right? We can prioritize the test case. All this stuff can be done with the help of the TestNG.xml file. Okay. So the same test case can be executed multiple times without loop by just using the keyword or attribute called invocationCount. That is another feature. Suppose say you need to create some data, test data. So definitely you will be not be copy pasting the same test case 10 times. That same similar data will require 10 times, so that you can just mention invocation count equal to 10. So automatically your particular test case will be run for 10 times. So that is the another kind of usefulness available in the test engine. So using test engine, user can execute multiple test cases on multiple browser, right? Cross browser testing is possible in case you are having multiple browser, multiple operating system. Suppose say you are having 20 test cases, you want to run 5 test cases in Mac, 5 test cases in Linux, and 10 test cases in the Windows. as well as you out of 10 test cases you want to run 2 test cases in the Chrome, 2 test in the Firefox, 2 test in Safari, 2 test cases in the I like that. It's possible. So distributed or the parallel testing is possible with the help of TestNG. Annotation used in testing is very easy to understand, right? So it will be like before method, before test, method, after test, after test. So at the name itself you can see. So if after method, before method means every before method it will be executed. Every method, before method. After method is after every method it will be executed. Before test, after every test it will be executed. After test, after sorry, before test, before every test. After every test will be executed. So from the name itself, you can easily understand that what is the objective of each and every annotations available in the testing. TestNG simplifies the way the tests are coded. There is no need for a static main method in our test. That is the another important kind of benefit. So as and when you are creating any normal project, right, in the using Eclipse, right, and you are creating any class, you could see this is my class, and from your main execution is starting from the main method. So main method is mandatory in case you are using normal class, you are not using TestNG. But TestNG will I will show you that there is no requirement of the main method. Without the main method, you can create the test cases, and the same test case can be executed. Right? Uncaught exceptions are automatically handled by TestNG without terminating the test prematurely. These exceptions are reported as fail in the report. So definitely in case TestNG, right, if you want to execute all the test case might be failed, but it will not stop you the execution for the remaining line. But whereas here, right, in case you are any kind of fail is happening, right, so your execution will stop there. Remaining line of code will not be executed. So that is another drawback of the normal standalone feature. But using TestNG, in case you are 100 line of code, so suppose the 10 step can be failed out of 100 steps, but it will not stop the execution for the all over the all remaining line. So what are the important TestNG features available? What are the important features available in TestNG? See TestNG assertion. So assertion, what is assertion? Is nothing but the verification. So as of now, we already see like we can use if else loop, right? Different kind of conditional statement to check that whether test case is getting passed or failed. But here in the TestNG, we are having two assertion through which we can definitely check whether my test case is getting passed or failed. Two assertion is like nothing but the soft assertion, hard assertion. I will cover in today's session what is the different kind of assertion available. So assertion is nothing but it will check the right expected result with the actual result. In case of failure, it will fail the test cases. Run test in parallel. So I already mentioned, right? So 10 test case can be simultaneously. It can be executed in different browser, different operating system, right? So that like it will reduce the overall execution time. So that is the reason, right? Thread, multi-threading, whatever you have covered in Java, right? That will play a pivotal role. Just we can change the thread count to 5, 6, so that 5 or 6 different, right, kind of thread will work simultaneously, and definitely like execution will be much faster in the different operating system and different browser. Make test depend on another. So why it is required? Suppose say I'm just giving a simple example. So you need to you need to just navigate to some e-commerce site where you need to log into the system. You need to search for the product. You need to just if a product is available, right? In game you can just add to the cart, and then you can make the payment, and then you can just close the browser, right, or log out from the system. But here say in case your login is not happening or the product is not available, right, there is no point of the remaining step, because the remaining step anyway will be failed. So that's why, right, for that other test case, right, booking part or adding to the cart, you can make it depend on the other, whether the product is available or not, or whether login is successful or not. In case login is not successful, product is not available, right, there is no point of filling the test case and giving the time for the execution, so that automatically the test case will be skipped instead of fail, because your previous dependent test case is getting fail. So remaining whatever test case is dependent on the failed test case, so that will be skipped simply. So it will save the time as well. Grouping the test case, this is the additional benefit of the TestNG framework. Why grouping is required, right? So say you are having 100 test case, but always maybe 100 test case no need to be executed, right? Sometimes you need to run smoke tools, sometimes you need to run the functional tool, sometimes you need to run the regression suite, like that. Sometimes I would say your build is only happening for application A, but you are having total 18 application A, B, C, D, like that, right? So wherever application A will be affected, I want to execute the test case. So that is the reason you can group the test case, right? Every test case can be grouped for the kind of testing standpoint or the product standpoint, right? The prioritizing test. why the priority is required, right? So, sometimes you need to prioritize the test case so that your first priority will be executed first, second priority will be executed second, like that. Suppose say in case you are having 10 test cases like that, login, then searching the product, adding the product to the cart, right, and kind of making the payment, return in case you want to do, right, checking all this stuff. But your execution will happen kind of alphabetical order, right? Suppose say your login alphabetical order is coming to the last, so what will happen? Your test case will fail, because based on the alphabetical order, login will try to execute at the last. But only until the logging is happening, there is other discuss will not be executed, right? So that is the reason, right? To avoid this, the default alphabetical order execution, you need to give some the kind of priority, so that it will execute based on the priority, so that like there will be no chances of the failure. So priority like login will be executed first, then the product search, then the product adding to the product to the cart, then the payment, right? Then the return. All this stuff will happen one by one based on the kind of priority. Data driven testing. So that is another important attribute, right? So always you will not be running through test case through hard coded value. Instead of that, you can run it from the data driven, right? You want to either it from the Excel or other stuff, right? So that like you can take the data from the that different external source and you can do the testing, right? So definitely in test engine and other frameworks, then you will learn how to drive the testing through the from the different kind of data source. It can be Excel. Then the reporting and mention, right? Testing is having some reporting feature, but that sometimes does not look good. So like, that is the reason we need to take help from the other external reporting, like that. If you want to generate the external report NG report, right? You can generate more beta report, and that can be shared with the respective stakeholder, right? And they can get to know easily from the report standpoint. Then the parameterization. So why parameterization is required, and what is the difference between the parameterization with the data-driven test? So in the data-driven testing, maybe your same test cases can be run with the variety of the data, but the parameterization, your parameter value will be fixed, but based on the parameter, you will be having different methods, right? So the multiple method will pick up those parameters. So that is the basic difference of the parameter and the data-driven testing. So in the data-driven testing, your test case will be fixed, but it will try to execute based on the variety of the data. And for the parameterization, your parameter and the parameter value will be fixed, but you will be using those parameters in the multiple methods. So that is the basic difference, and that is the important features available in the TestNG. Then what is the difference between TestNG and JUnit? So JUnit came first. So compared to JUnit, TestNG are easy to understand. So TestNG is having most of the feature of the JUnit, as well as it having added features, so that it is more user friendly, like that, right? TestNG allows user the grouping of the test cases easily, which is not possible in JUnit. TestNG support few additional kind of setup like before after show, before after test, before after group. It is not available in the JUnit. TestNG does not need to extend any class. In TestNG, it is possible to run Selenium WebDriver test case in parallel, but in JUnit it is not possible. Based on the group, TestNG allow user to execute the test case, but the grouping feature is not available in the JUnit. TestNG allow user to determine the dependent test case, right? Dependence I already mentioned, right? Each test case is autonomous to another test cases, but that feature is not available in the JUnit. So these are the different features. But in case you want to learn BDD with Cucumber, where we'll be using JUnit, I will show you in the last two sessions where like test JUnit also play a pivotal role, right? You can do something with the JUnit as well. But for the normal framework like data-driven framework, keyword framework, or the hybrid framework, you will mostly using the TestNG feature. But in case you want to use the BDD and Cucumber, here you will mostly use the test JUnit. So how you can do the installation of the step by step for the TestNG. So you need to just open the Eclipse and navigate to the Eclipse marketplace option. Right after opening here, you need to click here help, and you need to click Eclipse marketplace option. So it might take some time, right, to open it, right? Once it is open in the search, right, find box, you need to type with TestNG, and you need to click on the search button. So the TestNG will be available here. After that, you can just click on the install, right? Install now and finish it. So automatically TestNG will be installed. After that, you need to restart your Eclipse, right? You need to close and restart it. So that is a simple step. So once your Eclipse marketplace is open, you need to click right here TestNG, right? And then you need to search it, and you will finding option called TestNG for the Eclipse. That option you need to install now and click on the finish button, so that will automatically install. After that, you need to restart it. It's already installed in my system. If you go to the install part, right, you will be able to see that is already installed in my Eclipse. So it's a one-time activity. If you install in the Eclipse, right, it is not about the project. Automatically after the project is created, you can assign the TestNG for your respective project. So it's a one-time activity for the installation part. So the next time, in case you are creating any project, no need to install the TestNG. Just you need to associate it, right, only for your project. So each and every navigation will take some time here, right? If you go to the install here, you can able to see that kind of TestNG already installed. Okay, so that is the start I already described here. You need to restart your system, otherwise sometime it will not be available. After that, you need to associate TestNG to your project, right? So you need to go to the Java build path. You need to click on the add library, not the add external jar here. And after that, here you will find the TestNG. You need to just add it to your project, whatever project you will be creating, right? So here in the install part, it will be showing called TestNG. It is taking some time. Yeah, you can find it here. If you go down, it's already installed in my case. Yeah, TestNG for Eclipse. That is the part you need to just install. You can see it is already installed. If you want to update it, right, after installation also you can update the latest version. Right? You can uninstall it or go and change it, right? Then how you can associate it to your project? That is the next question, right? You already created the project here, so you need to select the project. Select the project, not any packages or not any jar file. You need to select the project. You need to click on the properties. After that, you need to right click here, add library, right? After you click add library, you could find TestNG, right? You need to select it. You need to click on the next. You need to click on finish. So automatically you could see TestNG is getting added to your project, right? Library. And after that, you need to click apply and close. So now TestNG is added to your project. Then now we'll be creating TestNG class instead of the Java class, right? How you can do that? So you need to right click here in the packages, or you can create a new packages as well in the folder, right? That does not be any problem. You can select the SRC folder, you can create a new package. Otherwise, with the same package, you can right click here, then you can create a TestNG class. You can click on the new here instead of the class, so it will automatically Java class. You need to click on the other, right? If you click other, you need to type here TestNG, TestNG. So you could see TestNG folder is getting selected and TestNG class is getting selected. You need to click on the next, and you need to give some name here, right? So suppose say I'm giving it TestNG session 8. Right? This is a different annotation, so whatever I am talking, you can select it, right? If you want to select it, otherwise you can write it. Next, click on the finish. Okay. Now you could see automatically your some test cases getting created. So here no main method, right? If you happen to see any other class, right, you could able to see your execution starting from the main method. But in the test engine there is no main methods available, right? So you could see no main method. So here by default your test at the test annotation means test cases, right? Here you can change the method name called test1, right? And here you can just give some output if you want to output something. Output for test one method, like that, right? You can create one more method. So at the rate test means it will be considered as the test cases, right? Suppose say test two. So it will be unique. Method should be unique, right? Otherwise it will throw the error. So test two method. Now you could see that there is no main methods available, right? Public static void main, nothing is available. Now if you want to run your test case, so if you want to run the Java class, right? So what are the options you will see if you right click here, right? Java, right? So just select that class and right click here and try to run as. You could see Java application is coming only, right? But if you create the TestNG class, right? So if you right click here and if you want to run as, you could able to see TestNG test. So that is the difference. Now you already associated your TestNG to your project and you are creating TestNG class. So now you will not able to see the Java option to be TestNG test. Now if you run it, right, you will able to see some changes here. So that is the beauty of the TestNG. You could see it is running, it is trying to execute it, right? And output for method is coming here, right? And you could see some differences right here, right? You could see in the right side, test one of one, method 2, what is the total time or executed pass 2, fail 0, skip 0, the suit, this is the test, this is the package dot class name, this is the method name, right? And in the console also you are able to see here, right? The total test case run 2, at the test means it is test cases, and skip 0, fail 0, default should run 2. So that is the way it is signifying that how many test cases getting run. Now if you just minimize that package, right, and you could see if you refresh the project, you will able to see some report as well. Just refresh the project, right? You will able to see the test output folder created, right? If you just expand it, right, you could see something called emailable report.html, right? Just select it, right click it and open with, right, web browser, right? You could able to see some report has been generated by default. So that is the beauty of the test engine, right? You could see some better report, right? Or you can copy it and you can open in any of the browser as well. So you can get the result from the path itself, right? Which will show you more granular details, that how many test cases pass, fail, like that. Yeah. What is the test name? Because you did not give any test name, default test, right? Is the package name is training dot class name TestNG class. This is the method test 1, this is the method test 2, right? Total number of time it's taken 198 seconds, it is 49 seconds. Total number of test case pass, total skip, total fail 0, total millisecond time, right? It is going, it is link, giving the link. You click here test 1. In case you are having 20 test cases, right, you can click here, automatically it will get you the desired result for that one. Okay, so that's why testing will be very very important. Okay, I have tried to give all the steps here. Okay, so any questions so far before proceeding to the other topics? No, I am not able to hear your voice. Yeah, yes, yes, yes. No, testing, I think a couple of report, one is for failed test cases, one is for the overall report, right? Two or three report is available. So if you go here, right, this is the one report, right? If you want to just get that, right, how many disks fail, right? So that is the another report will be available, pass png, fail png, right? Yeah. So this is the primary report, you can get it for the other part I'll be covering down the line, right? How to just run only the failed test cases, right? These are the different things. In case test case getting fail only, then the some report will be generated, otherwise it will not be generated. So this is the primary report, but still it is not reliable sometimes, right? You cannot just send the report to the stakeholder. It is need to be better, right? So that is the reason there is some report called extend report or other report. Report engine report is there. So in the report, the extend report I will cover in the BD report, right? How you can generate customized extend report, which you can share the respective stakeholder. Yeah. Any other questions, guys? Are you able to understand the topics from today as of now? Okay. Okay. Cool. Okay. Because in the real time, right, we'll be using TestNG, whatever thing you are using, mostly is TestNG. In case building cucumber, we'll be using JUnit. So there are different annotations available in TestNG. So what is annotation? So annotation is a tag or metadata that provides additional information about the class, interface, or method in TestNG. Annotations are used to keep the structure of the test classes. This annotation invoke the method according to the invocation count time. So at the rate is already mentioned. This is the test cases. Whenever you are using at the rate test, that will be considered as test cases. Before class, it will be executed before the class. After class, after every class, it will be executed. Right? Before groups, in case you are having any group, so that will be covered in next session. It will be executed after group similar way. Before method, in case there is a method, so right? So before every method, it will be executed. After method, it will be executed. Before test, before every test cases, at the rate test will be executed. After test will be executed. Before shoot, it is shoot level, right? In case you want to run a particular shoot, I'll be showing you, right, how to run it to shoot from the TestNG XML file. So in case you are writing it, so it will be executed only one time, and that is the sequence. First, before should will be executed in case you want to execute everything. Then before test, then before class, then before group, then before method, then test cases, then after method, after group, after class, after test, after. So that is the sequential execution, right? So I will try to see how you can at least try to get to know with different annotations, right, excluding the group. So here I will be using, say, at the rate before test. So this is the annotations, and similar way, right? You need to create the method here. Suppose say I'm giving it b test before test, right? So output for before test method. You need to import the annotation from the TestNG. There's error, right? We need to import it from the org.testng. Annotation is coming. Similar way, after test you can this is the annotations available. I can mention it a test. So output for after test method, we need to import the annotations, right? Similar way, you can create, go for before shoot, so it will be b shoot. So we need to import it. Then you can use suppose say before class after class. Then I will see how it is impacting your execution in case you are using those annotations. It's taking some time. Things got hang. So it will be after shoot. Then again it will be before shoot. I need to import it. Similarly, we can take the before class after class as well. Before class. Let's try to import these annotations as well. Now if you want to run it right from the right clicking here, see I will to see that run, it will be running. Test case will be still two, because only at the rate test will be considered as the test cases, but other part is the precondition or the post condition at the class level, suit level, test level, method level, like that, right? So here you could see only two test cases executed, total time taking step, right? And here you could see first suit is executed, then test, then the class, right? Then test one, test two, right? And this is the class, right? And then, right, after should will be executed at the last. Yeah, output for after should. Total test case run to past. What is the past method level? It will give you the method level. Output also coming, right? So that's why, like, it will be playing a pivotal role for the test stage. These are the different annotations. Let's try to just comment out for now, and let's try to see with real time example here. Say Facebook, right? And say second method is my for Google, right? So if you want to go to the page, right, you need to give that path, right? Suppose if I want to open the Facebook page, you want to like write like that, right? All it is, and if you want to, yeah, okay. So that is the part for Facebook. Similarly for the right, sorry, you can, and also I want to quit it, right? Diver dot quit dot close. So you could see. So this is the common step, right? I want to open the Google page. Here I can try change with Facebook, and here is my Google page. Okay. So this is the two test cases. Now let's try to run it. So it will be run definitely based on the alphabetical order. It will run based on the alphabetical order. All the methods will run at the test here. At the test will be considered as a test cases, and both the test case will be run based on the alphabetical order. So A, B, C, D, E, F. If Facebook is coming first, that is the then Facebook test case will be executed first. Then your Google, right? In case you are trying to execute for the Apple, but Apple will execute first. It does not matter what sequence you are putting it down, but it will be executed based on the method sequence at the test case level. So Facebook is executing first, right? Then Google will be executed. So Facebook will open, it will quit the browser, and then again your kind of other Google page will be open and will quit the browser, right? So it will try to run the other test cases for the Google, right? And it will close the browser. Okay. Suppose say now I want to one more test case I want to add it, right? Suppose say Apple, right? Here you can change it to Apple. Okay. Now the question should that some of the things are common, right? Right, your that part is still common, right? So I don't want to use the common step before every test. In case I am having 20 tests, I don't want to change, because in case I want something will change, right, tomorrow. The path is getting, I need to update every test cases. So that is the reason I'll be using some annotation called before test and after test, right? So which will be executed. I'll be first declaring some global variable, web driver, because the driver I'll be cloning it, right, multiple times. Then I'll be considering that before test. So every test cases it will be executed first before test, right? And then here I can create a public void, right? Suppose a setup. This is my setup method, and here I can just copy paste the common line, whatever is common here, right? That part I can cut paste it simply, right? Similarly, I can remove the part from the other test case as well, right? There is no need, because that is a common across every test cases, right? Similarly, other test cases. That is a setup method. Before test, it will be executed. That is the beauty here. In case you are having 20 test cases, so no need to call it right after every test case before test case, because it's the common part. So every test case it will be executed first, then your test case objective will be executed. Similarly, after every test case, I will be going some post condition. Yes. Tell. No, it will be based on the alphabetical order. Whatever order you are placing in that your classes, it does not matter, but it is based on the alphabetical order. So here A is come first. This is the method name, right? Apple. This is the method name. So Apple A is coming first. So Apple will be executed first. Then Google, Facebook, then Google. Is it clear? So let's try, yeah, try to run it. Let's see if you can understand. I will give you more example, and after that I'll be creating one more method for tear down, right? Suppose say after test, I'll be creating after test, where I will try to just close the browser for every test cases, because that will be common in the real time, right? You will be closing the browser every time. Otherwise, some problem can come, right? So that is the reason after test, and here it will be tear down method. So that is the convention of the framework part. You need to give some realistic name. Tear down. You will quit the browser, right? Here you will be copy pasting the steps for the closing the browser. Driver.quit. So that is the reason I have declared something globally. Web driver. Otherwise, local wheels it will not work, right? So whatever you'll be using multiple times, that need to be declared globally at the class level. So now I remove it, right? You can see how, right? How better it looking, right? Okay. So that is the thing you can get to know here. Now if you want to run it, right? So it will be still run, because your before test will run every time before test cases. After the test case will be executed. After that, every test case after test will be executed. It will quit it, right? So that is the reason. Or maybe you can print out the value as well, right? So right, driver dot get title. So every time you can get the title, driver dot get title. So that every time you can get the title in the console as well. So you could see Chrome diver is starting. So it will try to set up the property Chrome diver launch. After that, right, based on the alphabetical order. Based on the alphabetical order of your method, that method will be executed first. It does not make what order you are writing. That does not matter here. So here apple should be executed first. What's the problem here? Web driver. Yes. At the tester. Okay, let's see the error here. Fail configuration after test. Okay, before test, in case we can give something before method as well, it might work. Let's see. After method. So public void setup is fine. Public void driver dot quit, instead of quit, let's keep it to close. Web driver. Let's try to run it once more time. After method, right? Fine. Apple tear down. Not sure what the problem is happening here. At the test time, the closing. Facebook is fine at the rate test, then it's fine. Let's comment out for now that one. Let's see. Let's comment. Let's see the other thing whether it is working or not. It's opening, but not able to enter the value. Java lang null pointer is accepting Mhm. No, 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 no. Local will not work here. So it will be declared only the global variable only. Because otherwise every time it will throw the error. No, we cannot do it local variable. There is something called. Yeah, right. Let me check the other. It is not able to get it, right? It is not able to get the driver.get. It is not able to get it at all. So at the rate test annotation is fine. Public void Facebook. Let's check the other. Yeah. We used it right at the setup one. Used it. Yeah, yes. That is setup with the command, right? Public void. Other wow. So one second, let me try before I finish the code test. Let's try one more time. Then I will see. Public void setup is correct only. Recently run it is work. Mm, no, 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 no. No, no, setup is getting run, right? Browser is getting open, right? Maximizing. That is the reason, yeah. But it is not able to get that one, right? Loading. Driver.get is not working. So the only null pointer exception will work only whenever you are not able to load something. Then I will should be before test only. Okay, got it. No need to worry. I got it. 1 second. So we have again declare web driver, right? It should be driver because we are calling it, right? We are declaring globally. Again, we are defining it. Yeah, yeah. No, no, locally should not work. So because you are declaring already web driver, then again you are creating the web driver property. That is the reason it is not working. Yeah, yeah. That is the reason it is lot of it, right? Now it will work. So that is the reason even some also I know that something is not able to get it in the step, but you need to just apply some thought process, right? So that is the way. Sometimes if you already work 10 times, but minor thing, right, you will not able to run your code. Okay, so you need to just do some kind of analysis and just kind of debugging part, and then you can see because that part is working because its browser is loading, right, and error is coming because of the null pointer part. So in case some problem is happening, right, you can from the error itself you can get to know that something is happening, not able to get that one. So some problem is happening. Yeah, now it should work. Yeah, you can see it is working based on the alphabetical order. So that is the beauty of the test engine, right? You if you want to just execute some sort of step which is common in nature, you can just make them in the before test or before kind of method, right? So that will be executed at the rate of every test case or the every method at all, right? And quit will also work for the every there's a post condition of the after every test cases. So here we are not using the main method, so there is no need of declaration of something called static, right? Automatically it will work. So it is a public void method name and then the method one. So it is you can see it's working based on the alphabetical order. It does not matter, right, which order you are writing in the classes. No. But for the other part, right, you can see already it is coming based on the order you are writing. But that is the beauty, it will come work on the order. But some drawback is also there. That is the to handle those drawback, right? There is some alternative is there. You only go. Okay, you could see Apple, Facebook, and login page. If you see a sequence here, Apple executed first, then Facebook, and then the Google. Right? Now I think that is part you can able to see it, understand it. What is the sequence? How it is working here? Right? Every time you can close the browser as well. Okay. Now the next topic you will learn what is kind of how you can enable or disable a test, right? So in the comment in the Java, you already learned the comment, right? So that you can just comment out something. So if you don't want to execute it, you don't want if you want to disable something from the execution. But in test engine, suppose say if you do not want to execute a particular test case, right? Then how you can disable without comment as well, right? So there is a feature available called enable equal to true, false like that, right? So with the features enable equal to false at the test case level, you can make some test cases disable. So there is three things. One is enable equal to true, definitely test case will be executed. One is enable equal to false, test case will be not be executed. Yeah, yeah, it is possible. I will let you know in the next topics today. Yeah, okay. That is there's a priority is there. In case you can prioritize it, it will be there. So here, like you can disable or enable test three things. One is enable equal to true, it will be executed. Enable equal to false, it will be never be executed. It will be resolved from the execution. And by default, in case you are not mentioning anything, it will be take enable equal to true. So that is the three way, right? You can enable or disable a test case. So in case you are not mentioning anything, so by default it will take enable equal to true. So TestNG provides an attribute for enabling and disabling our test cases. At the rate test will be considered as a test case. There are many times when user do not want to run a particular test cases, and it's better way, right, to remove the whole test method from the class and then add again in case user want to run it, right? But definitely we will not be removing it because sometime again we need to use it, right? So that is the reason better to just kind of disable them from the execution. So, right, that is the method I already told, right? Three parts, right? So enable equal to false, it will skip the or ignore the method. Enable equal to, it will execute the method, and by default, in case you are not doing something, it will automatically take enable equal to true, right? So suppose say here three method is already there, right? Forget about that before test operator because that is kind of precondition of the post condition, right? So here suppose the Facebook I don't want to execute it. Enable equal to false, boolean value, right? And other one in case you are not mentioning something, so that will take the default value enable equal to true, or you can make it enable equal to true as well, right? So the three thing I will be applying it here: enable equal to true, enable equal to false, and by default means enable equal to automatically true, right? Let's try to execute. So here your Facebook page, Facebook part will not be executed because you have mentioned enable equal to false. Other test is whatever by default or what enable equal to true will be executed here. So that is simple way you can make something disable from the execution at the test case level. So yeah, three test cases will be there, but two will be executed. Apple and Google will be executed. Facebook will be skipped because enable equal to make it false. So that is the way you can enable or disable a test cases. So by default, in case you are not declaring, it will take enable equal to false, true, not the false. In case you want to just make something disable, you need to add that comment attribute. You need to use that attribute enable equal to false. Also. So you could see here two test cases got executed, right? The other method will be completely ignored. Okay, that is the thing. It will be completely ignored, right? Apple and Google. It is the two method has been executed. It's still working. It's not done. It will give you a result how many test cases executed in the console as well. Yeah, you could see total number of test cases to other test cases will be completely ignored, right? Apple and Google executed. The next part, GB, right? You are telling something called that how we can, if I want to execute, suppose say Facebook first, Apple last, right? How can you do that? So for that one, right, there is a priority is there, right? And with the help of priority, I can do the sequential execution. Suppose say today you are having five test cases. One is for the logging, one is for the product search, one is for the adding product to the cart, the fourth one is for the payment, fifth one is for the logout. But in case your logout is come fast, based on the alphabetical order, so what will happen? It will try to execute logout first, and even all the test cases will fail because until you log in, then how you can log out? Until you log in, how you can kind of make the payment, right? So you need to log out first. Sorry, log in first. Then you need to search the product. You need to add the product to the cart. You need to just book the payment, right, or complete the payment. Then you can just kind of log out it. So you can make it sequence like priority one, priority two, three, four, five, like that. So automatically, whatever alphabetical order method name is that does not matter, but it will go for the priority wise, right? So in any automation project, most of the testers are required to configure test suite to run test method in a specific sequence, or user must give precedence, right, to certain test method over other. TestNG allows user to handle scenario like this by providing a priority attribute within test annotation. By setting the value of the priority attribute, user can maintain order the test method as per their need. So it will be priority all are caps letter. It will equal to priority can value equal to negative to positive and 0. So negative highest priority will be executed first, then negative lowest, and then 0, and then positive 0 to highest one. So that is the sequence, right? So if you want to make something called decimal, it will not work. It will take only negative value, 0, and the positive value. In case you are making it priority, p caps, it will not work. You need to give exact attribute name, right? Like priority, 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 right? Default, in case it is you are not giving any priority, it will take the default. And in case suppose say two method is having same priority, suppose you are having 10 method but two method is having same priority, then what will happen? For the same priority method, again it will go for the alphabetical order, right? So let's here try to run something based on the priority, right? So here just remove the enable equal to true, and here you give some priority. Priority, right? Suppose if you want to execute Facebook, right? So you can give some negative priority as well, or the suppose zero priority. So zero negative will be first, then zero, and then the positive one, right? So next one, suppose say you want to do Google, I mean Facebook, Apple at the last, right? So it is not that always you need to give the sequence, right? So I can make Apple as 10, right? So based on the order it will execute, and then next one is Google, right? So here I can give it 5. So 0 and then 5 and then 10 will be executed. Or maybe 3 I can give, 4 I can give, right? So here what is the order? Why is error? Yeah, yeah. Yes. So that does not matter that you have to give only 0 to 1, 2, 3, 4 like that. And you can suppose say in case you want to execute also, the first you can give it minus 6 like that, right? So but still it will be before 0. So that will be executed first. Then your it will see that what is the sequence. Next one is 4, and the next greater one is 10 to be executed last. So now if you just want to execute it, and you can see it will be executed based on the priority, right? So that's why in case you don't want to go with the alphabetical order, you can just add the priority so that it will just drive based on your priority. So that's why in the real time also, right, you can skip the fail part, right? You can avoid the failed execution. So here Facebook will be executed first because it's the negative priority. Then the positive lowest priority is the Google, it will be executed second, and then the Apple is the highest priority, it is executed first. You can see execution order, right? Apple is executed last. So you no need to worry about it. You can also get it from here, right? Facebook is executed first, Google executed second, Apple. And based on the thing, output is coming, right? Also here. And here also, other output also will be coming here. What executed first, what executed second, like that all. So is it clarifies your answer, GB? Okay. Okay. So that are the different thing, right? You can use it. But if you use like priority p equal to caps, anything is caps, it will not work. It will only take the numeric value. It will not work. It will throw immediately error, right? You can see. If you give any decimal alphanumeric value, it will not work. Suppose say I want to give it like that, it will not work. It will only take numeric value, but right, and negative value and zero as well. Then the next one is assertion, right? So we are talking about as of now we already added something called verification but right if on else condition other statement, right? So in case your if is getting point, it will print something, but yeah, but we never made kind of any kind of validation point. So in TestNG, right, in case you want to check something with the expected result, right, you can add some assertion point here. Okay. So how the assertion will work? What is assertion? So assertion is nothing but the validating the expected and the actual result. So in the testing, there are two type of assertion is there. So one is the hard assertion and one is the soft assertion. So what is the hard assertion? So hard assertion will in what in case you are having like 10 test cases, 10 step in a single test cases. And in case your test case is getting failed because of the hard assertion, the remaining step will not be executed. That is the drawback of the hard assertion. So to avoid this, we can implement soft assertion. Right? In case your test case, a particular test case is getting failed, step is getting failed from a test cases. But in case you are using soft assertion, it will fail the test case at that step, but your remaining lines of execution will be occurred. It will not be stopped. So that is called hard soft assertion. So we'll try to implement both the assertion here. So these are the different assertions available already. Suppose say if you want to add something. So what is the title of the Facebook page, right? Facebook login like that, right? So let's try to store something called string expected title equal to I can just take that one. That is my expected title, right? Then string actual title. How can I get the actual title? Equal to driver dot get title, right? That is the way I can get the actual title, right? So here, so after Facebook, before validating the title, I can write a step called step before assertion is added, right? And after that, I can add the assertion and I can pin something called step like after assertion added. And here I can add something called assert dot assert. Assert is the class. This is called hard assertion. Then assert dot assert. One second. Assert equal. You could see. You can check with actual expected, right? In case it is a string, right? You can select the string expected to the actual. Assert equal. What is the equal part? I can check with the string. Equals double quote character byte. I can take the string. So first one will be actual and second one will be expected. So first one is actual, right? Actual title. and second one will be the expected title. So that's why you can add the assertion. So in case it is a matching, it will pass the test cases. Let's see. So here it will match, right? So it will having the pass the test cases. It will have the not be problem. So yeah, let's try to execute the test case. Well, I'm trying to execute only two test cases. Let's block it for the Apple part because it is taking time to load the page. So, I mean, I can make it disable also. So let's try to execute only single test case for now, where the assertion is applied. So here now assertion is not failing, right? So definitely test case will be passed because expected and actual is matching. I'm expecting something and then actual is also matching. Here test case will be passed because this is hard assertion but it is not failing. So that's in the real time you can apply the assertion same way, right? You already know what to expect the title. You already know what type of thing is there, right? You can add it, right? That's expected, and the actual value will come based on the actual execution. So we'll try to execute the Facebook page. It will open the Facebook page. It will just get the title. It will try to validate it. In case it is failing, it is passed here, so it will not be impact. But then next time I will fail the assertion. Yeah, you could see test case got passed, right? So step before assertion is added, assertion check and it is also printed out, and the step, sorry, here it will be step after. You can modify it like next time. It will be steps after, and that part also I can just print it after that, right? Okay. Now let's fail the assertion. So suppose say instead of sign up, I can expect something called sign up one. So what will happen? This case will fail because I'm expecting Facebook login or sign up one, but it will come Facebook login or sign up, right? So here test case will fail. So what will happen for the hard assertion in case test case is getting failed, right? Your previous test case till that part, till that assertion it will be executed, but remaining lines of code will be not be executed. It will be just kind of hold. It will not be executed. So test case will be failed, but your remaining line of code will be not be executed. That is the drawback. So assertion, you are getting it. You are able to validate your result. That's not be a big deal. You are able to validate whether test is getting pass or fail. But your remaining line of code is not being. So in case you are having 1,000 line, 20,000, 50,000 line, your test is getting failed. The 10th line, remaining line of code will not be executed in case you are using hard assertion. So there are a lot of methods available in the assert class. You can give a try. Assert not equal, equal to all the methods. So here same way, it will try to open the Facebook page. And as and when test case will get failed, the remaining line of code will not be executed. And here your driver will also be not be closed because the assassin is getting failed. Your after test case also after test method will also be not be called. You could see, okay, it is getting called. That's fine. But the remaining line of code from the same method or same test case is not getting called. You could see, right? This is the output you could only get steps before assertion is added. But where this line? As soon as assertion is getting failed, the remaining line of code will be not be executed. That is the problem of this hard assertion. And if you get to know the real time problem, right, you can definitely you can get here, right? So let's see, it is taking some time to get the output. You can see now the test is got failed. What is the failure reason? You can get it from here, right? This is the failure reason, right? Java load assertion expected, assertion error. Because it's the assertion expect failure. Expected was this, but actually is coming as this. That is the reason it got failed, right? So that's why you work with the soft hard assertion. Okay, so if you select the line, you could see the failure is also coming in here, right? If you right click here, you can copy TestNG message or TestNG test, you can get it also. You can paste it out in some notepad. Then you can analyze it also for better way, right? So that's so you can just you need to select that method whatever got failed. You can just right click and copy the message. You can just paste it, and you can analyze it for better way. That's why your test case got failed. What is the reason like that, right? Exactly. Okay. Or you can get the complete trace whatever is coming in the console. Okay. So that other thing you can validate. Then the hard assertion part you already get to know. Then I will come to the soft assertion. So how the soft assertion will work here. So what is the soft assertion in case a test case is getting failed? But test case will fail definitely, but remaining line of code will be executed because sometimes I want to execute all the 500 line, 1000 line because I want to generate see how and any other kind of error is coming or not. So that is the reason better to use the soft assertion always instead of the hard assertion. Okay. So to deal with the disadvantage of hard assertion, customized error handler provided that by TestNG is called soft assertion. Soft assertion or soft assert class allows user to have multiple assertions within a test method. Even when assertion fails, the test method continues with remaining test execution. The result of all the assertion can be collated at the end using soft assert dot assert all. So whenever you are using soft assertion, at the end you need to use that right assert all. Otherwise, though your test case is getting failed, still it will show as a pass. So let's try to implement for the soft assertion, right? So I need to create an object for instance for the soft assert class here. Say okay. I need to import it. Okay, SSERT. Then SA dot assert equal, right? Assert equal if you select same way if you select that what is it called string actual first, actual title and expected title. Right here, if you want to print something in the message also you can print it. Otherwise you can skip it. No need to skip that. Now I did not use as of now. Yeah, I did not use expected. Oh, sorry, expected or it will be expected title. Okay, so it will definitely fail because expected you are seeing one, right? You want to see Facebook login page sign up one, but actually it will come as in that. It will fail, but still it will not fail it because we did not using as at all. So let's try to run it first and let's see. Though your test is getting failed, but it will not fail because you did not use as at all at the last of your step. So in case you are using soft assertion, you need to first get an object origin. After that, you need to call the relevant method. Then at the last of all your steps, you need to call sa.assert method so that your test case will be failed at the step whenever your assertion is getting failed, but remaining line of code will be executed. It will not stop. So though it will actually failing, but it will not fail the test cases in the console and the other way, right? It is getting passed. So that is the reason you need to remember whenever you will be using soft assertion, right? So you need to see that you are at the rate you are using soft dot assert all, right? Method. Otherwise, it will still pass the test cases. So you could see all the line got executed and test case got passed. So if you want to just fail it, but if you want to execute the remaining one, you need to use assert all method at the last of the step. So then it will fail the test cases, but remaining line of code will be executed, and then any other failure is coming, definitely it will fail it, right? Let's try to. So now, as and when your test step will be not be matching with the expected actualization, at the step it will fail, but it will not stop you the remaining line of execution. So here, the output will still being displayed though your test case is getting failed, and definitely failed result will be still same actual and expected is not matching. So that is the true assertion where you can validate with expected and actual in the real time. With the real time, it is your objective is not to just navigate from the one step to another, right? For each and every validation based on your test case objective, you need to certify that your everything is working as per that. So similar way, right? Yeah, it is failed, but you could see all the steps got executed, right? And the failure result same way it will come. But here, after the failure, where it is getting failed? It is getting failed here. So here, two steps should not be executed, but it will execute in case you are using soft assertion. But your failed result will be showcased. But all your steps will be executed, and definitely you can get to know the reason, right? Same result. Your expected is coming as like, and expected but found as like that. Is it clear, guys? Till now, you can add multiple assertion in a single test case, single method. That's not a problem, right? Whenever suppose in case you want to validate five fail, you can add five assertion. So in case your test case can be failed for five reasons, it does not have any problem. So you have to fix all the thing. In case five error is coming, you can log five defects as well in the real time. Guys, is it clear? Any questions? Okay. Then I will go to the next one. The dependence is a feature in TestNG. Depend on method attribute. Right? As I mentioned, suppose say in case you want to log into the e-commerce site, you want to purchase something. You'll be having something called right login, then add product, searching product. But in case your product search or login is not successful, then there is no point of executing the remaining test cases, right? So you can make them dependent. So what will happen in case your test case is getting failed, remaining test cases it will be kind of skipped instead of execution, right? So you can save the time. You know that something is getting failed, your previous precondition is not getting matched, right? So you can fill those test cases, fill the test cases, right? So that's why you can, it will be depends on, right? Okay, so let's see how it can use the depends on method, right? So say here I know that my first test case is getting failed, right? And other test cases, right? I can make it something called dependent. So in case my test case is getting failed, other test case will be not be executed in case something is dependent on the other. It will be skipped. So that's why I can avoid the fail also, right? And I can save some time. Here, if you what how you can do it depends on method. And here you need to give the method name. So you have what is the way? You need to give equal to sign, second bracket, double inverted comma, then the method name. What is the method name here? Yes. In case you are having multiple right dependent something called multiple method, you can do it by comma, right? I already mentioned here in the example, right? You could see multiple also method you can depend it. Suppose says adding product to the cart, right? If you want to make it multiple, suppose if I want to check whether login successful, that one also after that product is set, then only I can book the product and make the payment. So here, in the previous test case getting failed, the next test case will be simply skipped instead of execution. So next step will not be failed because it depends on the method. In case test case is passed, then only it will be executed. But in case test case is getting failed, it will be skipped instead of the execution. you can see other test case got skipped here, right, with the yellow color cross mark, right? Here you can see one test case got skipped, one failed because it was dependent. In case your test case what is dependent on the other one's case pass, it will be executed, right? Total two executed, one skipped, one failed. So that is the reason I don't want to execute. I don't want to spend the time one analyzing because the previous dependent method is getting failed. So there is no point of thing, right? But in case you want to always run a test cases, whether your dependent method is getting failed or pass does not matter. So you can use another attribute called always run equal to true, right? So here you can give comma so that in case your dependent method is getting failed but still it will run always run equal to true. So though in case you are getting failed, but in case you are using always run equal to true, so that will be executed, right? So in case your dependent method is failed, in case you are not using always run equal to, automatically that will be skipped. But in case your dependent method is getting failed, but you want to always run your other test case, whatever depends on the other also, so it will be always, you need to use always run equal to true so that it will be executed. Though your dependent test case is getting failed, that does not have any problem patterns. So these are the different attributes available in TestNG through which you can, right, try to run it multiple times. You could see Apple is getting executed. The previous test case will fail, but it will, based on the outcome, it will pass or fail. But it will try to execute instead of skipping. So always run equal to true. That is the attribute you need to use it. If you want to always run, right? It does not matter whether other for which it is dependent was getting fail or pass. It does not impact. Yeah, you could see Apple is also executed, right? Your Facebook is for fail, but Apple is got passed here. Okay. So that is the called always run attribute. Then another three one in kind of important thing is that invocation count, invocation timeout, and skip fail invocation. So invocation count is really used whenever you want to execute some test case multiple times. In the real time, right? Suppose the same test case I want to run it for 10 times. Suppose if you want to create some data, right? Test data. So you want to run it for 10 times. So definitely you will not copy paste the same thing 10 times, right? But you will be just adding one thing called invocation count equal to 10 or 5. So it will be run for 5 times, right? And in case your test case is getting failed, right? So definitely you don't want to run for 10 times because it's a waste of time. Every time it will fail. So you can add one more attribute called skip fail invocation, right? So that automatically, in case it is at least one time it is getting failed, remaining it will be skipped. It will not be executed because definitely, in case something is getting failed, I don't want to execute 10 times because I'm wasting the time, the real time as well. So it will be failed, right? You can avoid the fail. And what is the invocation timeout, right? Suppose say in the real time for the performance standpoint, right? Suppose say in case you are having 10 minutes time, right? 10 minutes time, and you want to create 30 data. But 30 data, one test data might get take 1 minute time each. So definitely 10 minutes, 10 will possible. So you can give the invocation timeout so that whatever is possible in the 10 minutes will be executed. After that, it will be showing the timeout issue. So that is the important of the three things, right? So let's kind of disable this thing. Let's try to create a method, simple method called test, right? Let's copy the test method, whatever test one method. So I want to, if you want to run it for 10 times, you just need to use invocation count equal to suppose say 5. So what will happen? It will be executed 5 times, right? Now let's try to execute it. So it will be same test case will be executed 5 times. That is the invocation count. But in case one test case is getting failed for first time, right? Definitely there is no point of executing 5 times. So you can use skip fail invocation. In case this invocation is getting failed, right? You will skip the failed one. So let's first try with the 5 times first, because there is no kind of failure is there, right? Yeah, you could see here it is trying to execute 5 times, right? Same test case. You can see 1 by 5, 2 by 5, 3 by 5, 4 by 5, 5 by 5, right? Method 0 by 1 5 times, right? Pass 5 times, fail 0, skip 0. But in case you want to fail it, right? So you can use some hard assertion, you can fail it. Assert dot assert equals. Suppose I can give some integer. So suppose say my expected was 10 and my actual was 10 and it's 12. So definitely it will fail it. Now if you want to run it, so it will fail for always, right? Let's comment out this as well. So definitely all the 5 test cases will fail, all the 5 run will fail. But in case you don't want to fail it for the 5 times, you have to use another attribute called skipFailedInvocation. So definitely in case something is getting failed, what is the point of executing it again and again and again like that, right? So you know that reason is genuine. So definitely I want to just, you can see now all the test case got failed, right? So for it will take some time you to analyze why it is getting failed. But in case something is failed because of the invocation any kind of error, right? You can use keep fail invocation equal to true. I think so. Yeah, 1 second. Keep fail invocation. Now if you try to run it, so only one time it will be fail, but the remaining time it will be skipped. Because definitely they don't want to run waste the time in case something is getting failed. Though invocation count is 5, 10, 100. If you want to run it 100 times, you can give it 100. But any kind of failure, it will only fail one, remaining will automatically skip. Yeah, you could see. There is a failure and the remaining 4 skipped. So there is no point of the failing it again and again. Yeah, it will show only one failure. That is the way, right? We can just use the invocation. The next part, as of now, you already see how to run it, how to run a single class, TestNG class, right? But in case you want to run, suppose say multiple class. So suppose say let's create one more class. Or I can remove the invocation count. I can just simply use at the rate. Output for test method. That is a simple part. I can just call it in one test cases. The other test cases is there, right? Test case 2. This is the 2 test cases I can keep in the uh, uh, one class. So definitely I can run it from the class level, right? There is no problem, right? Okay. Now let's try to create one more class here. This is the class. 8 2. 8 underscore 2, you can give it 2. You can click on the finish, and here you can write one method, right? But here if you want to run both of them, is it possible right now? Suppose it is test 3, it will be test 3 like that. So you can run here. If you click right click here, you can run only one method, right? Either this or either that. But if you don't want to run it multiple packages, multiple at the same time, how you can do it? That is my next question, right? Mm, okay. I have created the class in the other packages, okay, and don't not to worry. So I can drag and drop it. So just I can drag and drop it here. So here, this is the two class I have created, right? And if I want to run both the class, then what is my way, right? Okay. So this is my second class. Say. Here 5 and test is there. So if I want to run it here, okay, so it will run like that. Only one class I can run it at the same time, either this class or this class from the any package. It does not matter, but only one class from one package I can run at the same time. So next question is that how we can run multiple things, right? Multiple package, multiple classes, right? So that is the thing I have covered in my PPT as well. Okay. So first thing is that you need to select the project, right? And then you need to right click here. So you need to select the project. You right click here. You need to convert TestNG, convert to TestNG. Remember the step. Right click here, go to the TestNG, convert to TestNG, not the first option, convert to TestNG, right? And you can give any suite name. So as of now, you can see default suite is coming default suite because it did not have any suite name. Default is, but this is coming called package name dot the class name. This is the method name. But here you can give the suite name, right? Suppose say TestNG test suite. That part I can give you. Or TestNG test. That part I can change it. Test name, right? Then whatever class you want to add it, right? You can just add it. Whatever TestNG class. This is the two TestNG class. I want to run it, right? So it will be like the suite name first, right? Then the name, then the classes tag. The class will be there under the classes tag, right? Then it will be class tag will be n, test tag will be n, suite tag will be n. After you click on finish, immediately TestNG.xml file will be generated at the project level. Now you could see, right? TestNG file will be getting generated here, right? You could see TestNG.xml file is getting generated here. Double click here, right? Now you can see whatever package you, whatever class, whatever package you want to use, you can add it. It will be class name will be package name dot class name. Okay, package name dot class name. So you should take only TestNG class. Java class might not work here because it will consider at the rate test at the test cases. So here I want to run 8 uh, class as well as TestNG session 8 TestNG 2 class as well, both the class. So you could see the differences here now. So whenever you want to run in it Java class, right, the option is try to understand the logic here. It will be run Java program, run as Java application, right? Whenever if you want to run any TestNG class at the same one TestNG class, it will be TestNG test. Option will be coming as TestNG test. You can see TestNG test. But in case you want to run from the TestNG.xml file, it will be TestNG suite. That is the difference option. Run as TestNG suite. That means multiple test cases, multiple class, multiple package it can run it. Now both the classes will be run TestNG session 8 and session 8 TestNG 2 with the help of TestNG one by one. Right? You could see now 4 test cases run. But from where 4 test cases coming? You could see the should name got changed based on the name I have given customized. Test name also get changed based on the name I have given, right? And based on the classes, from the first class, two test cases are executed, two test method, test one, test two. From the other class, test five and test six got executed. That is the reason this four test method got executed. This is the two, and from this class. So, if in case you want to run multiple test cases from the multiple packages, but within the same project, it is also possible. You need to just change the package name dot class name, right? That is the way you can run, execute multiple test suite in the test engine with the help of Selenium WebDriver. Let's recapture it one more time, then you can ask questions you can give in case you are having anything. So testing is a framework, right? It is a next generation, right? You can right, definitely do all kind of testing, generate better report, right? It is having different features for assertion. You can run the test case in parallel. You can prioritize the test case, you group in the test case, you can do data driven testing, you can do reporting, you can do the parameterization, right? You need to open the Eclipse, you need to go to the Eclipse marketplace, you need to search this TestNG, you need to install it, you need to restart it. After that, you need to associate it, right? Add library options. After that, you need to create TestNG project, and where all the annotation, all the test case will be considered at the test. There is no main method associated, and there are different annotation you can also use. Sequence will be like that: before shoot, before test, before class, before group, before method, test, after method, after group, after class, after test, and after shoot, right? Enable and disable, you can do the test with the help of enable equal to false, right? With the priority, you can prioritize the execution and sequentially do the execution. In the assertion, right, there's a hard assertion, soft assertion available to verify the step. In case it's a hard assertion, your execution will stop there, your test case will fail. But in case of soft assertion, right, your execution test case will fail, but the execution will continue, right? Depends on method, you can add it, right? In case you want to add add something method depending on the other method, you can do it. So in case your method whatever is dependent, it can fail, other will be skipped. But in case you want to execute always, you need to use always attribute, right? You can in case you want to run test case 10 times, you can use invocation count, right? You can use, in case in any test cases get failed, right? You don't want to execute all the test cases fail, you can use skip fail invocation. And if you want to run multiple test classes, right, multiple classes, multiple package, you need to convert it from fast TestNG. Then you need to give the suitable suit name, test name, and then under the classes tag you need to add the classes. Then you can run it, right, with the help of package name dot the class name in the class level, and you can run it with the help of TestNG suit, so that multiple classes on the multiple package you can run it. Okay, that's all from today's session. Thank you. We'll meet for the next session.